When Emily and I moved into Brookstone Meadows, we thought we'd finally found peace. The place looked like something out of a brochure: trimmed lawns, white fences, and quiet evenings. For a while, it was perfect. Then came the HOA. At first, it was the usual stuff: letters about trash bins being visible from the street, or the mailbox paint fading beyond acceptable shade standards. But then we met him, Rick Thompson, the self-appointed HOA enforcement officer. He wore a knockoff police badge clipped to his vest and strutted around like he was running a military base. Rick seemed to have a special interest in us. Maybe it was the truck parked in the driveway, or maybe it was my military plates that made him uneasy. Every week, another notice, another fine. When Emily, now 7 months pregnant, politely asked him to ease up, he barked, "Rules are rules, ma'am. If you can't follow them, maybe this isn't the neighborhood for you." That day, I told him plainly, "Rick, you're crossing a line you don't want to cross." He just smirked, tapping that fake badge on his chest. "You don't scare me, soldier," he said. He had no idea how wrong he was. It happened on a quiet Friday night, one of those evenings where everything feels calm before the storm. I'd gone to grab groceries while Emily stayed home to rest. She was 8 months along now, her belly round and glowing, and she'd been nesting all week, setting up the nursery and folding baby clothes. Then my phone rang. Her voice was trembling. "Jack, he's here again. Rick's outside. He's yelling about some security violation. I told him you're not home, but he won't leave." Before I could respond, I heard the pounding through the speaker. Boom, boom, boom. Then Rick shouting, "Open this door right now, or I'm writing you up for noncompliance." "Emily, lock the door and stay back," I shouted, already speeding down the road. But the next sound made my blood freeze, a crash, with splintering, and Emily's terrified scream. When I tore into the driveway minutes later, the front door was hanging off its hinges. Neighbors were out with phones, recording. Emily sat on the floor, clutching her stomach, tears streaming down her face. Rick stood over her, barking orders like a wannabe cop. And that's when everything in me went silent. I just reached for my phone and made one call. 3 minutes after that call, the neighborhood went from chaos to shock. The low hum of engines grew into a thunderous rumble, then headlights flooded the street. 2 military convoys rolled in, tires grinding against the asphalt. Black SUVs, armored Humvees, and a transport truck marked with insignias pulled up in perfect formation. Rick froze mid-shout. The so-called HOA cops suddenly looked very small under the glare of real authority. Soldiers in full uniforms stepped out, scanning the area with trained precision. One of them, a tall man in a beret, approached and snapped a salute. "Major Carter, sir, we received your distress signal." Every head turned toward me. Rick's face drained of color. He stammered, What is this? You can't just..." But the convoy commander ignored him. "Secure the scene. Get medics inside." Within seconds, 2 medics were kneeling beside Emily, checking her vitals, while others formed a perimeter. Rick's badge, the cheap metal one, glinted under the floodlights as an MP ripped it from his vest. "Impersonating law enforcement, unlawful entry, and assault on a civilian," the MP read aloud. Rick's voice cracked as handcuffs clicked shut. The same neighbors who once feared him now watched in stunned silence and quiet satisfaction. Rick was escorted off the property in cuffs while his little HOA clipboard dangled uselessly from his hand. The flashing convoy lights bathed the street in gold and red, and the once silent neighbors whispered among themselves. By dawn, every phone in the community had the footage, the fake HOA cop being taken down by real soldiers. The HOA board panicked. They released a statement saying Rick had acted independently and was never authorized to enforce physical compliance. But everyone knew the truth. They'd let a bully play police until he met someone who understood what real authority meant. Emily spent a night in the hospital, and thank God, both she and the baby were fine. When we came home, military engineers had already replaced our shattered door. My team insisted on it, a quiet gesture of respect. A week later, as I stood on our porch watching the sunset, I hung a new sign by the entrance.
It read,
Private property, protected by real service. The neighborhood's never been quieter since. No more fake badges. No more intimidation. Just peace, the kind that's earned when the right kind of people finally stand up to the wrong ones.